Hello everybody. It is Thursday, the 1st of December, and I'm making this video in a state of being deeply offended. Actually, Paul said in those days they will be deeply offended, and I am. Actually, my humanity is offended in a big way. And it came from, again, watching John St. Julian this morning, and he does trigger me. I mean, he really does trigger me in a bad way. And yeah, actually coming to the realization what that is that I'm feeling, what the source of that feeling is, and I'm feeling offended. That's what the feeling is, by what he's saying. Especially in a way where he cannot bring himself to refer to himself as a human being. He absolutely will not do that. Yeah, he's like talking about, I am the organism. It's just the organism that is sitting here talking to you, and that by that really reducing himself and humanity to, oh, we are just this dumb machine. We are just this biological machine that is void of any enlightenment, that needs to come from somewhere else. So the machine is all that we are. And then, of course, this idea that the machine was never created here anyway, that it was created by archons. I tell you something, they are very good at taking credit for everything for themselves. That is what they do throughout the entire book, through all the teachings. They are taking the credit for everything, especially to those that don't know any better, and they then accept it as truth. So no, we're not a machine that is void of any spark of consciousness or divinity. That is very much within us. That is very much within us. We are consciousness. Yeah? Not just an empty vessel. And the consciousness that we are, that is my humanity. It is the consciousness that is grown out of the experience of this world. That has been grown by this world. Raised by this world. By my mother and father that are in this world, that are this world. And this world is the experiencing yourself surrounded by other consciousness, those that are on your level and those that are on a completely different level, as in the kingdoms of this world, the mineral, the vegetative, the animal, man, all living in the same space under the desire, which is the Father, that all shall live and share this space so that all shall live. And it is my consciousness, the consciousness of a human being that should have grown out of this experience and do according to the experience, find their way through the diversity without being destructive. Receiving for itself absolutely everything does, but not being destructive to others. And that is what should have created our consciousness. In the end it is. It has been veiled, covered up, tweaked by another teaching. But what people do, the denial of self, the beating down of the knowledge of this world, and this is where I'm getting really offended, is actually a consciousness committing suicide. And that is the way of Jesus. That is what you have been taught. That is the way of self-sacrifice. That is suicide. As humanity as a consciousness as a whole, we are committing suicide. We're killing ourselves. We're killing the self. We're denying it and we're killing it. So how on earth did we get here? I mean, I was thinking about New Jerusalem and the 144,000 that will enter into the Borg cube, and folks, they're all Jewish, and women, they're all male. You're not going in there either. So, but it says about them that they have not defiled themselves with woman. They are virgins. Yeah? Which actually means they have not defiled themselves with the knowledge of this world, which is woman, the knowledge or the wisdom of this world. And Sophia is here. There is a wisdom in this world. You're not seeing that, but it's here. It is within you. You are a part of this world. Anyway, they have not defiled themselves with it. And just this word, defiled, again, offends me greatly. That's a great offense to me. It means damage the purity. Yeah? This world, the wisdom of this world is a damage to the purity. We are blight on the Creator. Another thing is desecrate or profane something sacred. Our existence profanes the Creator. You've taken humanity has taken that on board as their truth. We are a profanity. There's something out there that is the pure light, but we are the profanity. So, again, where is this coming from? And how is this working? Was Jesus himself who received or conceived of the knowledge? Received the knowledge. It was Mary, which then birthed a reality which was Jesus, and the knowledge was in him, but she is the one that conceived. And again, Mary was the epitome of womanhood. Yeah? The greatest woman ever. Pure. And what was Mary actually when you look at it? And in her own words, she knew nothing of these things. She was the depiction of ignorance. Ignorance. Not I know nothing about these things. The depiction of ignorance and the willingness to serve what she perceived as, again, a higher consciousness or whatever being, God. And that is the perfect woman. Yeah? Something that is ignorant, that is, again, completely uncorrupted by any kind of knowledge. Because knowledge of this world, the knowledge of self, is corruption, because it will create a blockage. It will stand against whatever wants to connect. But no, Mary was perfect. She was a completely empty vessel. And again, in what eyes is complete ignorance actually perfection? Only in the eyes of those that want to pour their knowledge into you. They want to pour their crap into you. And you will become the fullness of it, and it will become your truth. Only in the eyes of those is that perfection. The empty vessel is perfect to receive the will of God. Now, again, Jesus revealed the truth. In the book of the Revelation, there was the answer to the question, what is the source? And the source is New Jerusalem. It's the Borg cube. And let me make very clear, I do not believe for 1 second, not for 1 second, that that is the creator of the entire universe. What we're looking at is another consciousness, another part that has its being in the Creator, in the field. Just another part. The same as us. Only they judge themselves to be so much greater, and they must give their knowledge to us because we are apparently a blight in creation. So Mary conceived as the perfect woman, as the perfect empty vessel, uncorrupted by any knowledge of self. Where did that come from? As I said, Christianity, that whole thing did not come from nothing. It came from the wisdom teachings. Yeah? The Gnostics and the likes of that. And there is the story of Sophia. The wisdom that fell from the perfect pleroma. Again, something that fell into darkness. Something that needs to be redeemed because it is imperfect. So that's what we're in. We need to be redeemed by New Jerusalem. Sophia as a whole, the earth as a whole needs to be redeemed because it is desecrating, or it is a profanity to the Creator. Earth is a profanity to the Creator. And where did they get that, the Gnostics and such, where did they get that enlightened knowledge from? The pleroma. They went and seek knowledge. And here, again, it is out of ignorance. The question arose, who are we and what is this? We were in ignorance. Humanity was in ignorance. Still are about that question, but and we went the way of the Spirit into the pleroma to receive that answer, and we promptly connected to those that spun us then the story of Sophia, the fallen state, the total corruption of this world, that we need to be redeemed by something because, that is the knowledge they received from the pleroma. And again, when Jesus revealed the truth, that came from another being that spun us that story, and we put that down as the foundation of how we see ourselves and what we are in. We took that as truth. We just accepted it as truth. And our own truth is a corruption. Theirs is the light, ours is a corruption. So, it seems to me like we entered as children into the greater awareness, into the pleroma, to go and play with the big boys, so to speak, in the bigger playground, and we promptly fell into the hands of bullies. To me, that is what happened. And for us to play in that playground, we really need to learn to stand in the light of our own truth, to understand ourselves, to understand that which created our consciousness, the consciousness of a human being that should be the light of this world, according to this world, and not beat it down and make yourself an empty vessel so somebody else can fill it with their truth. But in the end, those in the cube, I'm sorry, if they think themselves as the only enlightened truth of all, they are the ones that are in the delusion. They are completely deluded. Yeah? And I really think they are looking out for young consciousnesses asking questions that they can draw into their darkness. I am all. I am the creator of all. That is darkness. That is a part, a sun that has elevated itself to declaring itself the creator of all. If they truly believe that, they are completely deluded, and they're drawing others into that delusion, into the darkness. That is what's happening. And as I said, when we have to make ourselves empty vessels in order to receive that glorious truth, then we are a consciousness that is beating down its own truth, that is committing suicide. That is why this world is going to hell. That is why this world is dying. That is why humanity is dying. We are killing ourselves on a spiritual level. On a spiritual level. To be reprogrammed with a different truth, and we're doing according to that, and it is absolutely destructive in this world. The sin in this world is not the sin of a natural human being. It is the sin of God, the gods, that are instructing us to do that. And as I said, we are completely deluded as to who we are and what we're in. Well, I mean, I can feel offended by somebody saying that I am a profanity. I am a profanity in creation. Yeah, that I am a damage to the purity of the Creator. That I should not have any knowledge of this world. Yeah, that my being is corrupted by the knowledge of this world. This is my mother and father. This is my home. And I will stand up for my truth. I am. I am a part of creation, and I have a right to be the same as any other part of creation. And there is no other part that can come and say, I'm so much greater and I am all. I am all, then you are totally deluded. Whatever thinks themselves all is completely deluded. No part is all. It is a mind virus. It is an absolute mind virus that will lead the consciousness that takes this virus in. It will lead that consciousness into committing suicide. Which is, in physical terms, what we saw Jesus do in the physical, but it was the spiritual that created the picture. It was spiritual suicide. And we really must stop doing that. Now, I said before, I had this thought that the heavens are not all bad. And that is to say, there might be parts of the heavens, other consciousnesses that have not been drawn into that darkness, that have not been completely infected by this mind virus that will lead to self-destruction, and that are free, and that are functioning that are free to be themselves, and they give the knowledge of themselves, the light of themselves to each other, to be in service of each other. Yeah, not to create other in their image, but just to be of service and, take it or leave it. The knowledge, that is. If it serves you, take it. If not, it wasn't meant for you. Maybe there are beings on that level of enlightenment that can exist in such a structure of giving and receiving. And I mean, we should be, if we went by our own truth and by the truth of this world should prepare us to be in such an environment. Because here we are already in an environment of surrounded by other consciousnesses. And to find our own way through that. So in a small way, that should have, then, but if you go as below, so above, that should have prepared us, made us grow up in the knowledge of ourselves to be then again in another diversity and find our way through that. But as I said, this mind virus has prevented that by it declaring itself to be the only truth, and us having to commit suicide to become a part of that, to be filled with their knowledge. Yeah, we should be offended by that. Our humanity should be deeply offended by that. Mine is. I'm deeply offended. And I really wish humanity would wake up to the truth. I mean, the truth is in the book. It is something that is coming to have dominion and rule over you, and you must beat yourself down to be of service to that. And again, your humanity itself should rise up against that. It should rise up. Humanity needs to rise up against this lie, against this darkness, enslavement. Anyway, here, folks, I leave it at that for today. I was thinking today about a teaching in the Kabbalah, and there was a teaching about the letting in of light, about the vessel and the development of the vessel, and how the vessel should let in the light, and how that is really how to receive knowledge correctly. Because at the moment we're not receiving the knowledge correctly, and either thinking that were an empty vessel to start with, which we weren't. Yeah, we're destroying our own knowledge, but and that there needs to be a restriction of the light. There needs to be judgment. Here it is. There needs to be judgment of what it is we're letting in, and we should be the judges. The self, the ego, is what is restricting the light, and it should. It absolutely should. To serve us, to gain knowledge that should serve us. As I said, there's a Kabbalistic teaching about that, and I'm going to try to find out where that was, and to see if I can talk about that in my next video. But as I said, those that are proclaiming ego death, they are creating themselves into an empty vessel, void of, uncorrupted by any knowledge of this world. So they can be absolutely, totally reprogrammed into another, and that is what will come. Something that will pour their knowledge into you, and you will become a part of their darkness, thinking that is all. Because it will be all that is in your head, in your being. And it will not be the truth. Anyway, here, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.